Some Christians are boycotting Deadpool and Wolverine and staging walkouts from the movie over blasphemous imagery, demonic themes, Satanism, basically. It's a satanic panic in 2024. This was brought to my attention when these two girls told their audience on TikTok not to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, claiming the film was made by the devil.
I mean, I've seen Sean Levy. He doesn't look like the devil to me.
Is Sean Levy the Antichrist?
He doesn't look like the devil to me.
It's time to start asking questions.
I'm just asking questions. Let's listen to this video of what they have to say.
Guys, if you want to watch Deadpool...
Don't do it.
Literally don't.
Don't do it.
The new one, don't watch it. Here. I don't know if you can see it, but we're at the theater literally now.
We had to walk out.
We're literally not finishing it.
I have never felt so convicted in my life.
This seems genuine.
The movie was literally...
This isn't satire.
You feel like the devil made the movie.
It's literally not the Deadpool we know. Like, that
It's absolutely the Deadpool you know if you actually...
I had no Deadpool vibes in there. I don't know about you.
None.
It was literally like the devil took the movie and made it his own thing. Like
you sit in there. I don't know about everybody else that was sitting in there, but I literally felt like God was like, get out of there. Like, this is not, you don't sit here and watch this.
We were like half hour in and I was like, nah.
Like, when I tell you they mock Jesus, like a
do we
man
give
on the
spoilers?
cross.
I think what I noticed from all of it, from this one and the other videos, they all left around the same period in the film.
Like 30 minutes in?
About when you get the famous scene of Wolverine on the X cross, which is literally taken directly from a 1989 Uncanny X-Men cover.
Well, then they would say that exact cover is blasphemous anyway, so recreating it would still be blasphemous. I mean, I don't know the context around that because I never read these comics.
Man on the cross mocking Jesus.
X. They slanted it.
Like a cross.
Like, yeah, the cross
and
was
Wolverine
like this.
is nailed to it. Like,
with actual nails in his hand. Ugh. And then under the cross was a bunch of skulls.
If that's not enough for you to feel like that's not...
They make jokes in the original Deadpool about being abused by family members and talk about, like, it's not politically correct in its...
Well, weren't there also jokes about surpassing Passion of the Christ at the box office in the past? And they actually ended up doing that with this one.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear him out.
Movie that you should watch.
What did they call him?
Marvel Jesus.
Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, apparently Deadpool is now Marvel Jesus. I don't know about you, but nobody's Jesus but Jesus.
Yeah.
And apparently he has disciples. Just no.
The vibes were... Don't do it! Don't do it! If you love Jesus, just don't do it.
Amen. Just don't do it.
Just it's like the Nike symbol. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. But yeah, that's it. Just don't watch Deadpool.
I have never felt better about any decision in my life than walking out of that theater.
When I tell you I was excited for this movie, yes, the first and second Deadpool had swearing and killing in it. It was
Deadpool.
It was inappropriate.
It
obviously wasn't made by God, but this one just
was made by the devil.
Literally.
Quite literally.
They also had a little devil person in there with horns and a tail.
Yeah.
Like,
was that one of the Deadpool variants?
No. Maybe if the devil actually did that, he wouldn't have shown himself like that.
That's all I gotta say. Just don't do it.
Just warning you, because there's not going to be anything anywhere else yet. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got a 20 from Jose Garcia. He said, God forbid these same religious girls play Doom and Doom Eternal.
There's the cover, by the way.
Right, so they recreated that in one of the scenes in the movie. I guess that was about at the 30-ish minute mark.
So my point was, when I'm not going to lie, when we were watching it, I'm like, I wonder what Mary thinks of that.
Okay, look, after seeing the Olympics opening ceremony, maybe I'm just desensitized to the point where it just doesn't faze me anymore.
Correct.
If there's humor that takes aim at Christianity. I have seen it all. I have seen it all, and I am not fazed by it anymore. I don't feel anger. I mean,
it's probably better for you that
It's a lot more of an intellectual response. Like, I am opposed to this, but at the same time, I wasn't going to... Okay, look, if it weren't for the fact that we were reviewing this for the channel, I wouldn't have gone and seen it anyway, because I'm not into these types of movies. But I don't think I would go so far as to boycott it over blasphemy or satanic imagery. The Marvel Jesus stuff, I mean, it was, to me, just as unfunny as the rest of the movie. I didn't enjoy the movie for other reasons.
Yeah, I knew that you were going to have your own reasons for not liking the movie. And
if I had known that it was so satanic and blasphemous, maybe I would have used that as an excuse not to waste 2 hours of my life.
But here's the thing, as somebody who did like the movie a lot, I knew for a fact while I was watching it that the people that I know that are religious, that do like comic books and do like these characters, were going to like it. And I knew they were going to be able to overlook it. And that was true. I saw several content creators that that are religious that had no problem with the movie. And what I've realized over time is, like, art being subjective and being what it is, that you're going to overlook certain things when you inherently like it as a whole, right? When you take the 30,000 foot view, if you like the experience as a whole, you're going to minimize the things that you dislike and maximize the things that you do like. And I don't think, like, I was going to ask you, like, does one's level of offense taken to something like this indicate some type of closer relationship to God than someone who takes less offense?
Right, because you could easily interpret the reaction of these two girls as performative outrage. I'm not necessarily saying that that's the case for them.
I don't know them, so I can't say.
Yeah, but feeling a certain way about this movie or the Olympics ceremony, to me, doesn't speak to how devout of a Christian you are. It's the way that you respond to it after that feeling wears off. I mean, I shouldn't feel like they're disrespecting me, right? I should feel like they're disrespecting God. And it's not like a personal thing, so I'm not going to feel offended because I already know that, as a religious person, God is God and he has already claimed victory. So, like, why should I feel like, do
you feel the same
Marvel
is true?
has any power?
Do you think that the same is true when they poked fun at, like if they're making fun of white people, right? Like, which is still a trope that's very, very common today. They love that.
It makes me check out.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me do. It doesn't make me throw a tantrum. It makes me check out mentally.
Yeah.
And it takes me out of the immersion that you're supposed to have during any movie.
That was my number one complaint when she says the line in the Batman.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't make me angry. I was immersed in a story that I wasn't really enjoying, but at least it felt like I was part of an immersive world.
Yeah, to me,
and then it removes me from the world.
The humor in Deadpool it was just, to me, giving very, like, mid 2010s Reddit bacon.
Well, the thing is, you're not supposed to change it if it's consistent with the character, then it's not supposed to change throughout the films. It would feel inauthentic to the character.
Yeah, of course. But it just, to me, that's how it felt. That's why I wasn't into the movie. But there was another a married couple that made a video about their experience with Deadpool, why they're boycotting it.
Here we go.
We went to see Deadpool and we left probably about 25-30 minutes into it. It is disgusting. It is so against the Lord. They are blaspheming our Creator, and you should not see it. Do not spend money
Husband
on it.
looks mad.
It is not worth anything. The fact that it has beat all of the MCU movies out blows me away, and it blows me away that people were bringing their children into it.
That is true.
We left that theater. We left 25 minutes in, and I didn't ask for my money back. I truly was so guilty that I even allowed us to stay in as long as we did, because it started off bad. But no joke, they used Jesus' name in it in a disgusting way in that 30 minutes, like 10 times at least. So if you're a Christian, do not see it.
He looks mad that they left early.
He's like, I spent money on this and I wanted to watch it. It's like, he's really mad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like when people make fun of Christians. I think it's an easy target. It's low-hanging fruit. It's the only socially acceptable way to make fun of someone for their religious beliefs is if you pick on the Christians.
They're definitely not gonna. It's a tired trope to mention, but they're definitely not gonna do such
Every
a thing
Christian is Ned Flanders.
Yeah. And they're not going to do this with other religions. They're only going to do it with Christianity.
Like he wouldn't have called himself Marvel Muhammad.
No,
he wouldn't have called himself that. Okay? That's just a fact.
Turning the cheek has backfired on your movie-going experience when you're $30.
There would be a fatwa on Kevin Feige right now if they chose to write that in as Marvel Muhammad, okay? And I've seen tons of fan art since the movie came out depicting Deadpool with a crown of thorns and the Sacred Heart, but there's a Marvel logo on it. And they're really leaning into that type of imagery aside from the film itself.
And I think that it's hard for the average person who's not hyper-religious to associate with it, right? They're just like, look, I don't attach myself to, because it's such a strong conviction for you that to the average person, they're like, there isn't much in my life outside of maybe my family and my loved ones that I would really feel that offended by you making fun of. It's like when people the other day were like, when Tim Walz got announced as like they're like, your state sucks. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like politicians suck, and I don't really care if he's from Minnesota. Just because I'm from Minnesota, that doesn't offend me. Like, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Like, that's like, it's the same mentality people have when they get mad when people dunk on their favorite sports team, and I'm like, bro, life. And I'm the one on here who's always like, I defend sports all the time to a lot of people, nerds who dismiss it and tell you it's stupid. I defend sports. I think joining sports and playing sports is extremely beneficial for kids and going into adulthood. I think everyone could benefit from it. But the team sport mentality has kind of found its way into all sorts of things. And when people like dunk on everybody and then they get mad when their team gets made fun of or stuff like that, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you've got better things to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that people sometimes can get stuck wasting their energy where it doesn't belong. I'm not saying that they're wrong to be offended, honestly. Maybe if I were more convicted in my faith, then I would feel the way they do. But I don't feel like that's correct. I don't think your emotional reaction to something like that
could be all the brain rot. The brain rot is lower.
I've seen too much.
You've seen too much.
That's what it is. I've seen too much. And after seeing the Olympics ceremony, after seeing, I mean,
things.
After the Satanic
stuff.
Panic, like
after the Balenciaga stuff, maybe everything else just kind of pales in comparison.
After Balenciaga, after Marina Abramovic, after Madonna, you could keep the list going on and on and on. Like, at a certain point, you can't even feign surprise.
Is calling yourself Marvel Jesus or the Savior of Marvel, is that? I mean, I guess using the word Jesus makes it blasphemous because he's taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if I were in the writer's room, I would have never written that.
But the point,
I would have never.
The point is, it's supposed to be an analog for a savior, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that it in context makes sense, and they're making a commentary about the industry and breaking the fourth wall by saying that. And as much as the context makes it, fit the story, I wouldn't say that totally excuses it. I found it distasteful.
And to be fair, these ladies have, the ladies in the first video and the husband and the wife in the second video have every right to make these videos about something that they found offensive or they think mocks, their faith. But
I'm just saying, call him Marvel Muhammad next time and see what happens.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.